What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Today on Hot Takes and Heart Rates, we are going to talk about rest periods. So, how I'm going to utilize making some YouTube videos, some talking head videos over the next few weeks, or I might shoot them all today and just upload them over the next few weeks, is I'm going to utilize my newsletter. Which, by the way, if you're not subscribed, if you go to my website and scroll to the bottom, there should be a section where you can enter your email and subscribe. It'll send you a confirmation email and you confirm that you want to sign up for the capital gains method. So do that. I will also, at the bottom of this YouTube video, ladies and gentlemen, link it so you can join. But long story short, we'll be taking newsletters that I've already released and kind of just diving in a little bit deeper on these topics to use as YouTube content, because I know there's going to be people who read my newsletters, there's going to be people who just want to watch the videos and have the audio on in the background, there's going to be individuals who want to look me up in the future and be like, does he know what he's talking about, or what does he have to say about these specific topics? And this is just an opportunity that I can pull from the newsletter and then elaborate a little bit more. So today we're going to talk about rest periods. So we're going to kind of read and break down the newsletter step by step. We'll try to keep this video under 10 minutes or around 10 minutes, but let's just go ahead and jump into reading it. So most lifters treat rest periods as dead time. The science says they are the variable that determines whether you're building strength, size, or conditioning, and you're almost certainly doing it wrong for at least one of your goals. I get straight to providing value up front by sharing that I think if we stay within 20 to 60 seconds rest periods, or if you are only doing that long of a rest period, so say you finish a set of heavy ass squats, maybe you did a 3 rep back squat and it was super heavy, and you only give yourself 60 seconds, it's not enough time. We want to utilize rest periods under 60 seconds for conditioning work and high rep muscular endurance work. So training those capacities, so training the heart muscle and its ability to recover fast and be able to exert effort again within a short period of time, is a good time to use 20 to 60 second rest periods, as well as when we're trying to train muscular endurance, which is just how long can my muscle sustain this intensity or this effort over time, right? Without failing. So high rep work, conditioning work, utilizing shorter rest periods, 20 to 60 seconds would be ideal. Now for most individuals that watch my videos, they're either a younger population that wants to put on muscle mass, or an older population that wants to reduce body fat and hold on to muscle mass. So for individuals like you training for hypertrophy or muscle maintenance, you're typically going to be hitting sets that are around RPE 7, 8. And RPE is essentially a intensity scale 1 through 10 that people utilize to kind of judge the intensity of a specific set. So say I do again, let's just say I do a 3 rep back squat, and when I'm done with that, I'm like, hey, that was a freaking 9 out of 10. I only had 1 rep left in the tank. That's why it's a 9 out of 10. I could have potentially done one more rep. So for individuals who are training, in the 6 to 15 rep range, they're normally trying to train around RPE 7, 8, leaving 2 to 3 reps in the tank. And we see the hypertrophy sweet spot in terms of building muscle and training at that intensity and those loads at that rep scheme and those loads and those intensities is 60 seconds to 2 minutes as the sweet spot. So anywhere between 60 and 2 minutes has shown to be enough time for you to recover, go back and hit that set again for a similar amount of repetitions, right? With a similar amount of technical form or efficient form. And then moving on to 3 to 5 minutes strength and power work. So individuals who are training for maximal strength, you're probably gonna take that between 4 to 5 minute rest periods. Now most people in the gym aren't really training maximal strength, so I would say for most people who are going really heavy in your gym pop gym and you're watching this video, 3 minutes is probably enough. But just know that if you get to that 3 minute mark and your CNS, your central nervous system, still feels fired up, that giving it another minute or two might be what you need. So 3 to 5 minutes for heavy loads, heavy strength training So any of you guys out there who are doing super heavy sets under 5 reps, 3 to 5 minute rest periods would be good for those sets in whatever exercise you're utilizing to do that type of heavy load and low rep range. And then power work, which is essentially just moving you could say light or medium load at very high speeds, right? Trying to move something really with high velocity. So that's heavy med ball medium-sized med ball slams. That's box jumps. That's power cleans. That's hang cleans. That's a hang snatch. Like any power-based work where you're moving some weight really fast. Again, it demands a lot out of your central nervous system in those few seconds, and giving yourself 3 to 5 minutes. 5, I think, is definitely the higher end, so I would say 2 to 3 minutes would be a good enough time for you to recover to come back and hit that set at the same velocity or similar velocities, right? So as soon as that velocity drops, we're no longer power training, right? So we need to take enough rest in order to come back and hit it with that same level of intensity or speed. From a power perspective. So at the beginning of this newsletter, I just dropped those right up front because some people don't want to read, and just like some people don't want to watch the rest of this video, you can take those numbers, run with them, and you'll probably do pretty well. 20 to 60 seconds for conditioning and high rep work, 60 to 2 minutes for hypertrophy work, and for heavy strength work and power work, 3 to 5 minutes. And it's on the spectrum. Everybody's on the spectrum there, right? Some people might need longer, some people might need less, and that's why we give ranges in the industry, right? Okay, so moving on. You shouldn't just catch your breath. You should know why you're resting. Walk into any commercial gym, you'll see two kinds of people. The ones that are scrolling their phone for 4 minutes before a squat set, and the ones loading the bar again 45 seconds after a set of 20 rep leg press. Both probably think they're doing it right, but both are probably wrong for at least one of their goals. Rest periods are arguably the most neglected training variable. We talk about reps all the time. We talk about sets. We talk about increasing the load. We talk about tempo. And those all get obsessed over when we watch YouTube videos or when you're talking with the bros or with the girlies in the gym. That's what we're talking about. Rep sets, how heavy it is, and the tempo or the speed at which you're executing the exercise. But nobody really talks about the essential aspect of resting long enough so that you can come back and hit that set with the same level of intensity, right? So some people in the industry have created checklists that are super helpful for you to consider, and one of these individuals is Dr. Mike Israetel. And if you're a common YouTube viewer of fitness content, you know this guy. But 4-point rest checklist. Number 1, cardiovascular system recovered. You shouldn't still be gasping, breathing mostly back to normal, not perfect but not labored. Okay, then he says number 2 is neural strength is back. So you feel strong, you feel turned on, you feel twitched on, right? You're not like dead. You don't feel like a battery that's drained. You are switched on, you're mentally ready to go and push hard. You're not feeling super groggy or lethargic or fried. You feel like maybe you did at the end of your set, but now that you've rested, you're feeling a little bit more turned on neurally, right? Synergists no longer limiting, okay? So say your forearms or your lower back were super fatigued at the end of your set. If you're recovering long enough, then those should be back to normal and shouldn't be limiters as you go into your next set. And then number 4, target muscle can do greater than or 5 or equal to 5 reps. Your actual training can realistically produce at least 5 quality reps. So if you did 5 reps the first set, and then whatever rest period you utilize, you come back and you can only hit 2 reps, you probably didn't rest long enough. So those are the 4-point rest checklists that Dr. Mike Israetel recommends, and to be honest, he's a legend, very smart in the field, way smarter than me, so I would definitely take that and run with it. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about, I kind of talked about this already, but this is what I put in the quick reference area on this newsletter. So quick reference, heavy strength, which is the 1 to 5 rep range where you're lifting loads that are like 85 all the way up to almost 100% of your max, right? So you want 3 to 5 minutes rest minimum. More is acceptable. Anything less compromises central nervous system output on your heaviest sets. And if you want to, hit a PR, or if you want to genuinely be able to complete all the sets assigned to you so you can make progress in the gym, you need to rest long enough so that your output can still be the same when you jump back in there and get after it, okay? Hypertrophy, anywhere between 6 and 15 reps. you're wanting to rest anywhere between 60 and 90 seconds as a baseline. You can, if you're training really, really, really hard, extend that to 3 minutes, but most people that are watching this video don't need to do that. So I would say stick with 60 to 90, and if you come back into your set after resting 60 seconds and you get like only 50% of the repetitions that you got at the set one, then maybe you can consider pushing the rest period another minute and seeing if that's the type of recovery that you as an individual need. But again, this is why there's ranges. Conditioning or high rep work. So this is 15 plus reps or circuit training, 45 seconds or less in between sets. The incomplete recovery, like the fact that you're still like kind of tired and you're like, fuck, I'm not sure if I'm ready to go with that minimal rest, is the adaptation target. That's what we are targeting. We're trying to be able to perform under fatigue. Okay, so that's kind of the adaptation we're trying to get, and that's why we're taking shorter rest periods. And then there's something that a coach named Dan Garner, freaking legend, works with tons of people, but definitely high performers, and then a lot of UFC athletes on the nutrition side of things. But he talks about muscle rounds, which is 10-second rest between mini sets. So it's what he calls a metabolic shock protocol. So if you want to learn more about that, I would just type that in and research it. I added it in there for any individuals who want something new to consider. And then I put together a sample framework, okay? And then we'll wrap the video right here because I think I hit the main points on rest periods, why they're important, and why we have them. And also, we'll dive into one last thing and why I kind of wrote this. But simple framework, let's say you're doing 3 exercises for the day or 4 exercises. You got your main lift, which is your heavy lift, your squat, deadlift, bench, overhead press. You are aiming for 3 to 5 reps for multiple sets. You're going really heavy. You want to aim for 3 to 5 minutes of rest. Then let's say you move on to your accessory work or your hypertrophy block where you're in the 8 to 12 rep range, taking it 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. You're going to aim for 60 to 90 seconds in between each set. So this is accessory work, isolation work, supersets. Essentially, you will recover to just the point where you're like, do I need a little bit more? And then you jump back into your set and try to execute the set again. So just enough recovery is what we would call that. And then conditioning finishers like 15 to 20 reps of, step ups or doing some circuit where you do med ball slams, freaking rope slams, and some jump ropes. I don't know. Resting 30 to 45 seconds in between each circuit, ideally. If you're doing, that depends. If you're doing circuits, you're going to do exercise. Maybe take 10-second breaks in between each of those, and then you might take a full 45-second break before you repeat the circuit again. But nonetheless, typically under 60. So now, I think this is what I'll end the video with. We'll take it to the 15-minute mark here. I created this because I have clients who constantly have been trained over time to do things in circuits or do things in supersets or trisets or they've trained their mind to do that, where they need to feel like they're constantly sweating or constantly moving. And don't get me wrong, I think that I understand that, and as a coach, if the client wants that, I need to figure out ways to integrate that into the session. But I think when we're doing super heavy loads and I'm really trying to train somebody up to build their strength capacity, pairing, doing a heavy set of squats, 4 to 5 reps of squats, and then the client's asking me, hey, can we go do like 2 other exercises before we repeat this again? I'm like, hey, I think we should just rest and recover so that we're ready to attack this exercise again. This is kind of why I wrote this, is because sometimes people don't give recovery and rest enough respect. Let me just say that. So if you're a gym pop person out there, a gym pop client, or you're an athlete, or you're anybody who cares about training, I don't know why I'm just saying gym pop. I think it's because I'm so used to working with those people, so I'm trying to talk directly to you. But listen, anybody out there, you need to prioritize your rest periods, and you need to be intentional about them. Don't be on your phone sitting there and talking about, I'm taking my rest period, and then next thing you know, 6 minutes have gone by and you're distracted by some political video that popped up on your phone. No. Take your genuine rest period, have a stopwatch on you, check, once it hits that time, go and hit your next set. Your workouts will be better, you'll perform better, you'll feel more locked in, and you'll feel like you kind of got a break from the world and you were actually intentional about your training. So rest periods, baby. Prioritize rest and recovery. Go out there and be great. Bye-bye.